it's one hand washing the other. It's one move complementing the other. Now we're thinking with some business sense and also having some respect for the fans as well.
Welcome, fight fans, to Boxing Scene's top stories only on ProBox TV, your boxing channel. I'm George Demetellus. Quick reminder to download the ProBox TV app, where apps are available, because part of the beauty of the apps and ProBox TV is the insights of our world champions, Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi, joining us here on Top Stories. Well, individuals connected to the Gervonta Tank Davis Lamont Roach bout have confirmed a Thursday report that the fight originally planned for December 14th in Houston will move off that date and location, thus creating the possibility that Davis will jump on a late January card with David Benavidez. Now, Benavidez is looking at a January 25th target date and a card with a PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video in Las Vegas against fellow unbeaten light heavyweight David Morrell. Now, the card would also feature the featherweight title bout between Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton, and the return of former middleweight champion Jermall Charlo. All right, Chris, is this safe to say that this is a good move for Tank to move this fight to late January?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it is a good move for Tank per se, but it's a good move for us as fans, because that's a hell of a card. And Tank and Benavidez fought, I believe, in their last show together, and that was successful. It was a good card. Two good fights. So, you know, him moving to this card and making more of a mega card is good for the fans. You know, you're getting more bang for your buck, because it's a pay-per-view. You're going to have to pay for it, rather than having two pay-per-views, one at the beginning of this year and then one at the beginning of next year. You know, you make one bigger, better card. But in terms of Davis's, you know, career trajectory, this is another calendar year where he's only going to fight once. And which is a problem that seems to plague a lot of the PBC fighters, that they don't stay that busy, Tank being one of them. So, you know, him getting pushed back until next year, again, he fought one time this year. It wasn't the fight that we really wanted. He tried to get the Lomachenko fight. That wasn't available or able to happen. So then we moved on to the Lamont Roach fight, and which we were expecting December, now moving into January. But again, I mean, as a fight fan, it's a better card, you know, and the Benavidez Morrell is an excellent matchup, one that true boxing heads would be excited for. And I think boxing people in general like seeing Gervonta Davis regardless of who he's fighting. But, you know, if he's not going to be fighting one of these super mega guys, yeah, put him on a card with David Benavidez. That makes more sense.
You know what? I like this move. I'm going to tell you why I like this move. There's several different reasons here. Several different things to unpack here. Number one, first of all, I agree with the champ. It wasn't, okay, we didn't get the fight we wanted with Tank Davis this year. The one fight we got, it was Frank Martin. But Frank Martin at least is a respectable opponent. Everybody wants the Shakur Stevenson fight in this weight class. Of course, Davis Shakur Stevenson is the prime fight to get right now. And like I said about boxing, sometimes you get the fights you want, but you don't get them at the time you want them, which by the time you get them, it's not really the fight you wanted anymore. Boxing tends to do that. So hopefully Davis and Shakur Stevenson still winds up happening while it's at the time where we want them, and not like when one or two, both of them already got beat and it's lost a little bit of luster. Timing for these things is what makes it a super fight. You know, you still can make Davis and Stevenson, but, you know, if you make it at the wrong time, it's not the same fight. So that, having said that, okay, we ended up with Martin and Davis. It's not the worst fight in the world. Him fighting once only this year, that's a problem. Obviously, you want to see him fight more often. The reason I like this move here with going on the Benavidez and Morrell card, number one, Davis still brings star power. Complain about his opponents all you want, and I do that a lot, but he still brings star power to the table. But now he's not abusing his star power by taking on a Lamont Roach in a main event and making you pay for it. So I don't mind this. If it is Lamont Roach, I don't know if I understood that right. If it's still going to be Lamont Roach, I don't mind that at all here, because Lamont is still a championship fighter from a lower weight class. So there's things working against Lamont where he's going to be heavily an underdog, but at least he's respectable in this position in a co-main event on a pay-per-view against a megastar. He's respectable in this position because it's not the main event, and you're not paying for this actual matchup. You're paying now for almost a showcase fight for Davis against a respectable opponent. He's not the worst guy in the world, the respectable opponent. And I don't mind a showcase fight underneath a pay-per-view. At the same time, Morrell and Benavidez are not your casual, are not known by the casuals that much. They are excellent fighters, maybe some of the best in the whole sport. but they are not known by the casual. So this fight, if you put it on pay-per-view, it could suffer from the lack of buys undeservedly, because it's a great matchup, it's a great fight, and hardcore boxing fans know what a good fight this is. You know, so from that perspective, you want this fight to happen. But it could need help in terms of selling pay-per-views. So putting Davis in that co-main event slot on this pay-per-view, I think helps that as well. So I think it's one hand washing the other. It's one move complementing the other. Now we're thinking with some business sense and also having some respect for the fans as well, which, of course, you know, in tough economic times, people would love to see their favorite fighters. And now this makes it a little bit better, a little bit more what's the word? Palpable that I need? Yeah. Chris, what's the word am I looking for?
Yeah.
Palpable?
Yeah, palatable.
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 Palatable. And I think I like it. I like this. This as long as I can see Davis again in 2025, because I don't want to just see him once a year here too, especially if he's going to fight in January.
Yeah, Gervonta Tank Davis knocking out Frank Martin on June 15th on the same card that Benavidez beat Alexander Gvozdyk in at 175. So that should be interesting. By the way, Tank saying he has no problem. He's a big fan of Benavidez and would be happy to switch main event roles with him the next time out. That next time out could be January 25th, PBC pay-per-view card on Prime Video. And of course, anything that happens, any further developments in this situation, we will have it for you here on Top Stories. Remember to scan the QR code, like, subscribe, and leave your comments on our YouTube channel. Download the ProBox TV app where apps are available, because we got a great night of fights coming up November 1st, live from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Pedro McCrory against Leonard Carrillo is the main event. You can see it on ProBox TV YouTube channel and on the app as well. Certainly it's going to be big fun with the champs and Jimmy Smith in Northern Ireland. I'm George DeMatteis, and this is Boxing Scene's Top Stories.
November 1st, ProBox TV makes its European debut in collaboration with Conlan Boxing. This stacked card starts with hometown fighter Padraig the Hammer McCrory returning to the ring to take on the hard-hitting Colombian Leonard Carrillo. And in the co-main, the UK's Robbie Davies Jr. clashes with former two-weight world champ Javier Fortuna of the Dominican Republic. Live from the SSE Arena in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.